you're 50 or older, nothing changes. You get what America's promised you. If you're 20, you're just starting out at 21, you're going to have to consider a higher retirement age and a more sustainable level of Social Security benefits, even personal retirement accounts.
Well, thank you very much. And the final response on that question will come from Joel Smith.
I have a book out called Budget Your Goals, Not Your Silver. It's a complicated book describing many parts of the economic system. And in it, there are a number of elements that need to be put together. The first thing that everybody needs to know is if your outgo exceeds your income, your upkeep becomes your downfall. So the question is, how do you handle the outgo, and how do you handle the income? You can cut everything under the sun, and if you do so, you still may not be able to pay for anything. When I talk about equivalency of taxes and tariffs, I suggest that part of that income should come from the Chinese, and let somebody else give something into the thing instead of just borrowing the money. Make sure that they buy something from us. And it's important that we note that we've got to look at the income as well as the outgo.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. And our next question, which will be responded to first by Mr. Schiffer for 2 minutes, is this question. What is your opinion concerning the process that Congress is considering to use in order to pass the health care bill?
I think it's despicable, deplorable, obscene. You're talking about the slaughter proposal, I assume. And I think basically the slaughter proposal, if we start going down this road of using these means to cram through legislation that the American people do not approve, do not want, it shows they don't get it, and they're going to basically slaughter the Constitution with this. I know this is a method that's been used over the years, but folks, the media's not telling you this. Keep it in perspective here. This type of proposal to cram through legislation has only been used in American history for minor pieces of legislation, amendments to different bills. Never, ever has such a scheme been used to cram through a proposal as massive and unconstitutional as Obamacare. So I'm definitely opposed to this. We need to be speaking out, calling our congressmen and women. I understand, unfortunately, that the vote's going to be taken this weekend, maybe on Sunday. We need to do everything in our power, including praying, to stop this massive federal takeover of over 1/6 of the federal budget. And also, I'll conclude by this, with saying this. Remember when Ronald Reagan used to refer to the Soviets, and he said that they would use methods like this, that they reserve unto themselves the right to lie, to cheat, to steal. You can use those same traits for the Democratic leaders in the House today. They reserve unto themselves the right to do anything they damn well please to us, to lie, to cheat, to steal. And you know, we've got to stop this. Our country is in dire shape, big trouble.
Thank you very much. The next 1 minute reply will come from Joel Smith.
Hogwash and arrogance. Now, I am extremely pleased that 37 states have some effort made to insist that the 10th Amendment to the Constitution be enforced, in which case the state which has the responsibility for health care should be free and untrammeled by the federal government. And let's hope that that and the arrogance that Mr. Obama gave in giving a browbeating to the Supreme Court will make it very easy for the states to win that case. And I do not want to see it go through that way, but if it does, I will be behind the states and stop it.
Thank you very much. I will repeat the question, and the next response will come from Jim Renacci. What is your opinion concerning the process that the Congress is currently considering to use in order to pass the health care bill?
Well, I would tell you that it's 100% unconstitutional. What they are doing is, and there's more moves today, what they're trying to do. They're trying to pull so many things together today where it's going to look like the Congress is not even going to be voting on the Senate bill. They're taking the reconciliation, moving it to the Senate bill, and making a vote that is clearly unconstitutional. Let's face it, in this district, 51% of the people were polled do not want this health care bill. 58% of the people in this country do not want this health care bill. I'm not sure where Mr. Boccieri, our current Congress, is going to go, but he's leaning toward the yes. And to be honest with you, his vote on tomorrow or Sunday, and his vote for cap and trade should eliminate him from ever going back to Congress.
Yeah.
I have said all along that a congressman that votes for cap and trade should never go back, and I will tell you, this congressman, when he votes for, and if you heard my radio ads, I have called him out and told him not to vote for it, because I think it's a problem for this district. There are many that say, well, if you're running against him, it might be a great thing. We need to stop this vote now, and it needs to be a no.
Thank you. And the final reply will come from Mr. Miller.
I agree with all three of these gentlemen, but let me ask you this question. How many of you in here tonight fear the upcoming actions of your government representatives? Most every hand and head is nodding. We've come to a horribly wrong place in America where the government of the people, by the people, and for the people, you, the American citizens, are afraid of your representatives' actions in the coming days. That alone tells you that we have to change our leadership in Washington. When we have deals being made behind closed doors at the White House as they write one of the biggest entitlement programs of our nation's history, and you and I aren't allowed in on the discussion of the people, by the people, for the people. When we have a White House that has now appointed 30-some czars, I thought czars were the things we tried to remove in other nations so that their people could be prosperous and flourish. And yet our nation's leaders appointed 30-some of them to oversee various aspects of our lives. It's much bigger than the health care bill. Something has happened in here in America. And thank God for citizens like you who are coming out and learning about the issues and candidates so that you can send people to Washington who understand the proper role of the government in our daily lives.
Thank you. And for our next question, the first response will come from Mr. Miller. You will reply first again for a 2-minute response. And here is the question for each of you. The Obama administration has taken a different approach to the war on terror from the Bush administration. President Obama has stated that he wants terrorists to be tried in civilian courts where they are Mirandized shortly after arrest, as in the case of the Christmas Day bomber. Do you support President Obama's position on civilian courts for terrorists, or do you believe that they should be tried in military tribunals?
The bottom line is we are at war. The enemy is the Taliban and the Al-Qaeda. Our mission to prevent them from getting a nuclear weapon so that they can use it to destroy American lives and the lives of others around the world. We are in a war. We have a mission. The only difference between this war and other traditional wars is the men and women that we're fighting against aren't in a uniform. They're in civilian street clothes, and oftentimes they look just like you and me. In terms of how do we treat these terrorists who try to commit acts that will destroy American lives, we need to treat them as enemy combatants, not as criminal defendants. The reality is, our battle to protect our freedoms is not going to stop in Iraq and Afghanistan. All you have to do is take a look around the globe and you will see that rogue nations all over are starting to rattle their swords against us. North Korea, China, Iran. Now you see Russia teaming up efforts with Iran, providing them with weapons and playing war games. Well, isn't that nice? We also have the Venezuela president who's starting to work with all three of them and spread his antagonistic spirit towards the U.S. The truth is, we do have to focus on the wars that we are fighting now, but we also need to build our military, invest in weapons technology, and improve our weapons systems so that we can confront the many battles that are looming on the horizon. I do not want America to be involved in any war, but history has shown us we can achieve peace through strength. When these rogue nations know they're facing a power that has the economic capability and the military capability to deal with whatever threat comes her way, they're not so quick to get out of line.
Thank you. The first 1 minute